All right, I think we are live. All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining today's session. Faraz, I will quickly pull you in. Let's go through today's agenda. But before we do that, we are going to record this session. Uh, so that's just a disclaimer there. I'll quickly talk about myself. I'm Demandgen Sarkar. I will be taking you through today's session. We'll talk a lot about Demandgen. We'll cover all the new updates and upgrades that we are seeing. With me, I have Faraz. He comes with a huge experience when it comes to Demandgen. I'll quickly pull him in for his introduction and we'll get started with the session. Faraz, over to you.
Thank you so much, Devankar. My name is Farazdag. I come with 18 years of experience in the field of digital marketing and ad tech. I work with a lot of Google products, and in addition to that, I also design websites, which is in HTML, and do a lot of SEO, which is on-page and off-page optimization. Okay, having said that, let's get into the session for today. The most important question that comes to our mind is why Demandgen? What makes Demandgen so unique when compared to the other kind of campaign types that we have? You've got a PMAX campaign, you've got a search campaign, and we also have a Demandgen campaign over there. But why do we actually need to use Demandgen? It's a very interesting thing, for us all to know about. And what's basically new in a Demandgen campaign that gives that edge in the Demandgen when you use a particular campaign type? We're going to talk about two case studies, if I'm not wrong, which shows the success of Demandgen. Very interesting case study, which was, I'm not going to reveal the secret. It's good to know exactly that how Demandgen really adds a lot of value over there. Understanding Demandgen measurement capabilities, because whenever we run a particular campaign, the next important part is to know that how can we measure the success of that campaign. That's where measurement comes into the place. And then we're going to talk about campaign guidance and best practices, in the sense what we should basically do, what could be the best kind of creatives that we need to use, all of that how can basically can add more value to make Demandgen a very powerful campaign and bring success to you. Success to you would mean getting more number of conversions inside. Okay, so the first important question is why Demandgen? Now, Demandgen campaign in Google Ads represent a significant shift from the traditional intent-based advertising like search ads to a more discovery-based approach. As the name clearly says, demand and gen. It's about creating that desire and awareness for your particular product or service before a potential customer is actively looking for them as well. Now, the basics of Demandgen is that it creates demand. In a sense, it sparks interest and desire for a product or service. It can drive concentration, encourages users to think more about your brand as a solution, because any kind of a campaign and ad that we run, we are trying to address a particular need of the audience over there where our ad acts as a solution. Inspire action, ultimately lead to conversions, because in the end goal of any campaign, we want to get conversions coming inside. Even if it's not an immediate purchase, but we want that thing to be kept in the mind that we have a solution for you. Some of the key characteristics of a Demandgen campaign is visual first, because Demandgen campaign heavily relies on rich, immersive visual formats like videos, images and carousels. Now, this is because they're designed for platforms where users are visually oriented, because sometimes reading text is not that interesting when compared to looking at a visual. So, as they say in I'll translate this in English. I'll say it in English first. What's seen gets sold. In India, we have a language, jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai. So it's something like this, visually appealing plays a very important role over it. The next part is discovery-oriented platform. Now, your ads are shown on Google's most engaging and discovery-focused services like YouTube. When I say YouTube, it's basically your shorts, it's in-stream, home feed, and watch next. Then you've got your Discover feed, which is Google's personalized feed of content that appears on your Android devices and Google app based on users' interest. You've got your Gmail. When you look into your Gmail account, you will see some tabs like the promotions and the social tabs where you can see certain kinds of ads showing up over there. You've got the Google Display Network where also your ads can basically show up. In addition to this, Demandgen is also uses AI-powered targeting. So it looks at your interests and behaviors in market segments, your custom segments, your lookalike audience, and your demographics. What's more interesting is it's got flexible bidding strategies like maximize conversion value, maximize clicks, target CPA, and target ROAS. Now, the number one question that comes to our mind is, when should Demandgen campaign be used? You can use it at the top funnel when you're looking for awareness, when you want to introduce your particular brand or a particular service. You want to look at the mid funnel when you want someone to consider your particular offerings. It also acts at the lower funnel. That's the most important part. Now, demand gen campaigns helps. I mean, if you look at it, it basically helps you in creating that demand. Okay, even before a customer is actually looking out for a particular product. And why is it so important is because today's consumers are predictably unpredictable. When I say they're predictably unpredictable is because let's take Divankar or myself, for example, we are continuously searching for information. We are streaming for information. We are scrolling for information. We are shopping. Now, both Divankar and I, let's say if both of us are interested in the love going to the gym and we're looking out for various kinds of whey protein supplements. Now, the way Divankar and I would search would be totally different. Okay, because he's got a personal intent, a particular behavior, his body type is all different. So this is the way how searching is different. He might also want to stream on other platforms to get a more positive opinion as to if this particular whey protein is really good or not. And then he would scroll through things, which I would also do. And I would also go to a shop. Now, sometimes we might both shop on the same platform, but sometimes, I mean, Dipankar might choose a different platform and I might choose a different platform. Now, what does it actually mean to say is that both Dipankar and Faraz are very valuable customers to those particular brands. And those brands, number one objective is to ensure that the sale is made. That is basically the conversion that happens. So these four key behaviors of humans is extremely important to understand this, that they're searching, streaming and scrolling and shopping for information at all points of times. And only Google and YouTube can get your brand across all these four kinds of behaviors with unrivaled reach, trust and influence. Now, what statistics that we have is says that 83% of global consumers are reporting using Google or YouTube on a daily basis. Okay, and significantly higher than other online platforms. So 83% of global users are actually using Google and YouTube on a daily basis. Now, I can give a very good example. Recently, I was doing some construction work in my house where I was trying to renovate my mother's bathroom. And I basically use Google search to find out what are the various kinds of doors that I can make. And I came up with something very interesting, which is called WPC, wood, plastic, composite kind of a material, which is termite free. Now, I'm not promoting the particular brand or that particular type of wood, but what I'm trying to say is that search has been evolving. If you look at search, how it was in the past, it was just simple. You put in a text of 2 words. Today, we don't use search the same way. We're using it as our personal assistant. And when I say a personal assistant, I mean to say that we give those long phrases. Now, let's say if I'm wearing this kind of a t-shirt, it's a kind of a mustard color. And for example, a coffee falls onto my t-shirt. What am I going to do is I'm going to go and type in the search that how can I take out a coffee stain that has fallen on my cotton t-shirt, which is mustard in color. And that's how the AI overview comes into the picture, where AI overview will tell you that these are the steps what you can do to take out the stain. If I want to make it more interesting, I will then go into AI mode. Now, why am I talking about AI overview and AI mode? Because AI overview and AI mode is the next place where people are doing a lot of they're using these kinds of a similar form of chat GPT, which is but powered by Gemini over here, where they're using this to get a lot of answers. And now at that particular point, you want your ads to showcase over there as well. And if you want your ads to show over there, the most important thing is that you need to adopt the AI kind of mechanism. Okay, because all of these campaign types are basically AI driven. Now, don't wait for your customer to find you. Okay, because demand gen for leads emphasizes the importance of proactively reaching out to customers rather than waiting for them. Okay. In a search campaign, you wait for the customers, but in a demand gen, you proactively reach out to them. It highlights that consumers engage on an average of 5.5 touch points before submitting a form and consider 4.3 different brands at the start of their journey. When if I looked at the example of the door that I wanted for the bathroom, I looked at Century Ply, I looked at Nikki as another brand, and I forget another 3-4 other brands which I also saw over there, which told me that these are the different kinds of WPC doors that are available. Now, therefore, the key message is that reaching users early and often during their complex research is crucial for building that kind of trust and securing leads. Okay, and that's exactly where demand gen comes inside. Now, how do you connect with your audience and to grow to your business? Because on this example, what you see is, I mean, you see there's a person in the hospital, you see another person at the showroom, you're seeing a person who is, standing outside a nice, lovely building, who in the office. How do you basically convert them into leads? That's the number one question for all they advertise. And the only way, the way you can convert them into leads is by being present where your customer is present. Okay. I mean, if I'm going to be, being at a particular place selling slippers, for example, like say Birkenstock kind of sandals over there, especially on a place where there is no customer coming, or all the customers who come over there do not wear kind of slippers. So you wouldn't want to do that. Now, the important point over here is turn consumers into trust with high quality leads. And how do you turn that? Is with YouTube, where you get 98% more likely to trust recommendations on YouTube than other social media sites. Because why would I say YouTube? Because YouTube is one platform which is governed by a very strict high policies of Google over there. So everything is being inspected, and if it does not adhere to the Google's ad policies or Google's video submission kind of policies, those videos are not being able to be showcased. 81% agree that YouTube creators gave them information needed to make a good decision. And I'm a very big advocate of this. I'll tell you a very interesting example, but I'll share that example a little later with you. And it's a very interesting case, which how I got influenced by YouTube. Okay. Now, what Demandgen basically does is over here a very simple thing. As a solution to create and convert demand by highlighting three key pillars. Now, it focuses on expanding your social campaign impact using YouTube, driving results with Google's AI while maintaining flexible controls, and generating high quality leads by reaching your users beyond search who are not actively looking for the brand. Essentially, Demandgen combines broad visual search on one hand, smart automation on the other, and the most important part is proactively targeting to secure new customers, which is extremely important. Now, what you see over here is when do you want to use Demandgen for leads? So let's say if the KPI is to, I mean, you're looking at social, for example, the case is that Demandgen users say that it is best helping them reach their target audience at an efficient cost, which is 1.3 times more effective than Meta and 1.4 times much more affordable than TikTok. So this is a very important metrics to keep in mind, because we always get confused that can we use this as another social platform? You got Demandgen as the best solution over here. You want to run your customized ads. 92% of marketers who report using Demandgen agree that it tailors ads, creatives, and messaging towards your target audience. So there's a lot of customization that is put into the place, which that is what the thing is there for today. Because today, the era is moved from a one standard fit all ad to more of customization and personalization. Go beyond your search. When I say go beyond your searches, on an average 60%, 68% of Demandgen conversions came from users who did not even see your brand and did not even know that your particular brand existed. So that is the thing which goes beyond the search over here. Now, what I was trying to say earlier, that I will give you one example about YouTube, how I basically got influenced. And I basically go to the gym. And while going to the gym, I love listening to music. And the music platform that I choose is YouTube. So while I was listening to music on YouTube, what happened is I saw a beautiful ad coming up. It was of, the ad is basically of Zequel Acra. Now, Zequel Acra is basically, Zequel Natura. It's from Wix and is basically a combination of melatonin and zinc, which helps you in inducing sleep. Now, long story short, I sometimes suffer with insomnia. So I said that let me see if this particular product can really add value. And what happened? As the advertiser succeeded in their mission, that ad basically made me make that purchase towards Zequel Natura as a product. I bought it. Now, I'm not advocating the product because it doesn't work for me and I don't believe in those products anymore. But I made that one-time purchase, and that's what we want. We want people like Farazdak to go out in the market and make that one-time purchase. Now, it's left to the brand and to the label, or to the label, that if there's a lot of value in that particular product, then the person is going to make a repeat purchase. Otherwise, it's going to be one-time purchase that basically happens. So Demandgen users say that it is best at helping them to generate high-value leads at 1.3 times much more better than Meta and 1.6 times much more better than TikTok. Now, why don't you want to take advantage of that? Because Demandgen's performance marketing value proposition is to create and convert demand when consumers aren't searching for your particular product. Like Farazak, I was in the gym working out. I was enjoying my music. Suddenly one ad pops up. And that, it was there. Now, how did that ad pop up? That's a very good question. The question why that ad popped up is because sometime back I was searching on Google search on various alternatives for inducing sleep. So now Google remembers the intent, it remembers the kind of behavior that I'm using Google for. Suddenly, YouTube shows me an ad. And that's what we want, right? As advertisers, we just want that one time that Farazak purchases it, if he sees value, he continues to buy that particular product. Now, introducing the performance power, that is a new positioning. Now, what do I say is that with the best AI, you're going to get the best return on investment. And why do I say that is because we need to use as much as of AI today into a thing, because AI is making our life much more easier. And why do I say making our life much more easier? Because let's say if you have automatically created assets, you've got URL expansion over. These are all AI driven kind of features with a lot of machine learning, and it picks up all the different kinds of signals that are available over there, because it's very difficult for us to put all the signals together and make an understanding out of it. But the AI, because it is machine learning driven, it can really put all of that understanding to best use. And because it puts it to best use, it can get you the best ROI. Now, if you the best strategy is what we say is that if you want to win the AI powered search era, is to adopt a combination of all these three. You got PMax, you got AI Max for search campaigns, and you got Demandgen. Now, I will tell you a very challenging thing. Now, can I run a PMax campaign without without any kind of conversion data in it? Yes, you can run a PMax campaign without any conversion data in it. But what's going to happen is it's going to take up a lot of your budget. So what do I do now? I want to run a PMax campaign because you can target all the 7 different channels and take this access to entire Google's ads inventory, which is perfectly fine. But there's a limitation, right? I want to run it with conversion data, and the best number of conversions you want is to have 30 conversions over a 30-day period. Now, I've acquired a new particular brand or a new particular label from my label, and that person doesn't even have a Google Ads account, and I want to run a PMax. I won't be able to run it. So what would be my first step is, first, I get a new brand. I created the Google Ads account, and then I go in for my conversion tracking. I install my conversion tracking goals. All that is done. Perfect. Now I've got the choice of running a search campaign, and I've got a choice of running a demand gen campaign parallel. Now, when I run a search campaign, I would run a search campaign with AI Max enabled into it. Now, why would I want to use AI Max? Is because it goes with keywordless targeting. The best feature about AI Max is keywordless targeting over there. And it's got URL expansion as well. And it's got automatically created assets. So it will show you your ad to those particular people. And it can also make a custom ad for you over there. By taking a combination of your headlines and descriptions, it will customize an ad for it. Now, with URL expansion, the best feature is that even if you have this particular product in your page feed, or let's say in your Google Merchant Center, and what you can do is when you integrate either of these two or both of them together into your, into your search campaign, if you integrate your page feed over there, what happens over there is the best thing is that even if you do not have a dedicated page for a particular product, but somebody searching for another product, but it is there in your page feed, automatically the ad will be customized for it. So now I've given you a solution that you have got your search campaign, but the search campaign is running a little bit slowly in the sense that it is getting you the conversions, but not those 30 conversions in the 30-day window to run your PMax. That's where Demandgen comes into the picture. Now, Demandgen says, same problem in what is there for PMax, Demandgen has also got the same problem. It's a new particular campaign, no historical data. What do I do over there is, in Demandgen, there is a very interesting kind of a concept in Demandgen. You can use optimized targeting over there. So when you use optimized targeting and use the bidding strategy as maximize clicks, if budget is not a constraint, it will start generating the conversions. So now that you've got the conversion mechanism started in Demandgen, now I will use the next combination, which is called lookalike segment, and choose that between 2.5% or 5%, not more than that. I can go to 10%, but I'll choose a 2.5%. Now, Demandgen start generating the conversions. Your search campaign will start generating the conversions. So now you've got your 30 conversions very easily within the 30-day period for you to run your PMax campaign. And this is the best strategy where you can have your presence everywhere to ensure that the customer does not go anywhere at all. Okay. Now, what you see on your screen is, sorry, it's not blank. It's just popping up slowly. Now, if it's on the top of my funnel, what can I do? I can run a Demandgen campaign. If I'm looking at the lower part of the funnel, which you see over here, this particular part of my drawing skills, I'm using a search on a performance max. So I can even use this as a top funnel strategy, or I can use Demandgen as a top funnel. All the people who have clicked on my ad but have not converted, I can retarget them back with a search on a PMax kind of a campaign. So this is how you can basically use this in any way you wish, any combination that you wish, which is best for you, based on your marketing objectives and your business goals, you can choose this to ensure that you get the maximum number of conversions. Now, what's new basically in Demandgen is, first, basically, it unlocks new demand. And how does it unlock new demand? Is let me give you a fantastic example. It reminds me of this wonderful lady called Sarah. I hope there's nobody called Sarah on the line. And if there is, then it's just a hypothetical example. Now, Sarah is basically into fitness. And on a beautiful Sunday afternoon, she was basically sitting on the system with a system and researching for various kinds of high protein diets, because protein is known to help you in your weight loss journey. Now, while she's looking for this high protein diet over there, she suddenly gets an ad popping up where there is this beautiful glass of crystal with a lovely jug pouring into it with a purplish blue color, kind of a beautiful liquid into it. And then she gets to understand that how this particular juice can help her in her weight loss journey. And she never even thought about this. Now, this starts stimulating her brain. She says, why not I purchase it? Now, the juice is basically acai berry over here, high in antioxidants and very good for towards helping your weight loss. Again, I'm not promoting that particular acai berry juice. I'm not promoting it. It's just an example. So Sarah basically gets influenced with that and she starts making that purchase. And that's what you want, right? Like Farazak made, like me, Farazak made a purchase towards ZQL Natura, and I bought that once, and that's what you want. So it basically unlocks new demand. Then what you can do, the next step is, if you want to create a deeper connection at scale, you can use your lookalike audience over there, which starts creating clones of the similar kinds of Farazaks or Saras that are in the market. And basically the end objective is turning discovery, because Farazak never knew there is a particular product like ZQL Natura there in the market. Sarah never knew about this acai berry juice. So it basically turns discovery into sales, and that's what we want. It basically helps in boosting your sales. Now, it helps you to reach up to 3 billion users monthly across YouTube and Google, where they stream, scroll, and connect. That's the best part. Now, the beauty of Demandgen is that Demandgen, as I told you earlier, it has got these 5 platforms which it basically works with. Now, one platform is basically your YouTube, where you can see it on YouTube Shorts, YouTube InStream, YouTube Feed. You can also see your product on Discover. You can see it on Gmail, Google Display Network. And now what's more interesting is that you can also unlock new demand with the help of Google Maps. Now, why Google Maps is very interesting is because if you ask me, for example, and I'm pretty sure all of you also use the same thing, is that if I have to go from one place to another place, okay, now even I'm a little bit lazy, because sometimes when I have to go to office, I also use maps. And why do I use maps is because it's the new direction to go to the office for the first time or the second time or the third time. I want to find the best route that is available for me, right? Now, I'm browsing for a location, I'm finding directions, I'm looking for a business entity. Now, just imagine that if you see an ad showing up over there, which is more related to you, because today's AI can personalize those kinds of ads to us. That's what we basically want. So you get to see this personalized ads, and that's what I'm looking for, the directions. But if the ad has got a good visual appeal for it, a good picture onto which can attract my attention, I might be interested in that. And that's what we want. We want that might be like Faraz Daku would click on that ad to get you those necessary conversions you're looking for. Now, Demandgen also gives you control. Okay. In the sense, basically, as it shows on YouTube, in Shorts, InStream, YouTube in Feed, Discover, Gmail, and Google Display Network, you have that control over there where you can choose which particular platform, in that particular platform, which particular, if you want to show, you want to use YouTube Shorts, or you want to show YouTube InStream, if you want to show that or not. It's also more transparent with enhanced controls. It understands performance by channel. You can take informed decisions for which channel strategy is set up for best, and you can optimize your creatives in that particular way. It is available at the ad group level also. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you look at the example over here, it helps you to choose where you want your ads to basically show. So this is the part which you can basically see. It gives you that control where you can choose which ads and where do you want them to show. Now, a good practice is to always integrate your product feeds. Also, if you have the Google Merchant Center with you, integrate your product feeds into it. And one important point that comes when you integrate your product feed is that if I have a particular product in my portfolio which is currently not in stock, what do? Should I keep it in my product feed or should I delete it? Well, the answer is both. You should keep it and delete it. You will keep it if that particular product is going to come back into stock in the next 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 60 days. You would keep it. You would not keep it if that particular product has become obsolete, in the sense it's got deprecated, the product is never going to come back into your stock again. That's a situation when you would actually want to delete that particular product, because I'm going to add them anyway. Now, why would you keep the product if it's going to get replenished in the next 30 days? You would keep it because The Google is in a lot of AI. The AI is in a lot of learning on that particular product. It's understanding who its kinds of audience are, who its customers are. So if you delete it, it's going to lose all of that data. Now, what this slide indicates is that you can showcase your ads on all these platforms. You can, when you integrate your product feed. So it's always a good practice if you're an e-commerce business, especially, to integrate your product feed into this particular demand gen campaign when you're using it. It really adds a lot of value. Now, you can, as I mentioned earlier also, right, when you look at those three different campaigns that we have, the PMAX, the search, and the demand gen, and I said in demand gen, if it's a case where you can use the lookalike segment as well. Now, to use a lookalike, some of the important points is that you should have at least 150 active users is the best. This is one of the best practices that we would suggest. You need to upload your first party data. And why would you want to upload your first party data? Because the first party data is that entire list of customers whom your particular brand or label has done business with. So you know exactly that these are all converted customers. They have bought your particular product or service. So now you're giving an indicator to the AI that, okay, you're telling the AI brain, I want you to go out in the market and find customers like these who have bought my product. So it's always good to input your first party data. Now there could be a point where you do not have your first party data with you, right? Then in that case, if budget is not a constraint, then you can use, as I mentioned earlier, optimized targeting with maximize clicks as a targeting strategy. And you will start getting in your necessary conversions. You'll build up your first party data list. Once your first party data list is built up to a sufficient level, okay, I mean, you got 150 active users over there, then you can use your lookalike segments over there and use narrow as an approach of 2.5%. I mean, you can use balance at 5% also, but best would be at 2.5, where you want it to be a very close match to the exact clone that has been there in the market. Okay, now you can add your seeds. Okay, you can add up to 10 seed lists to create your segment. The configuration, segment configuration allows for a narrow, balanced, or broad options where you can choose 2.5%, 5%, or 10%. So you can basically play around with that. Now, the power of AI with controls when you need it. Now, one is basically it helps you target specific audience, okay, during their major life moments on channels when they use to research. Like Farazak was basically listening to music on YouTube, and he got this to see this ad of ZQL Nature over there. Clone your close leads with lookalike audiences to continue fueling your business, because that's what you want. You want to get that conversion so that you can run your PMAX campaign if you do not have any historical data with you. Fine tune your assets with Demandgen's AI tools as you create and convert new leads. Because sometimes we might have certain assets, in the sense creators with us, but we don't have a total list of all our creators. Then use the AI powered tools which can help you in creating your assets at scale. Now, the most important point is, why should we believe you, Farazdak, that whatever you're saying is right? Please don't believe me. Run an experiment. Run an A/B experiment which will tell you that if I make this particular change, if I make a change in the bidding strategy, if I make a change in the creative, is it really going to give you that impact? And that's what we want, because we don't want to take a gut feeling or a kind of an approach. We want to take a more logical, practical approach, and that's where A/B experiments comes into the picture. Now, as we all know, but just reinstating the fact that vertical videos and shorts, I mean, adding a vertical video asset to the Demandgen campaign leads to 35% increase in conversions. Okay, now that's very important. So if you're looking at shorts, you need to add a vertical video. You've seen a lot of advertisers who run campaigns without vertical videos. So we strongly suggest to please add vertical videos, because it gives a 35% increase in conversions. Now, what you're seeing on this slide is the bidding strategies applicable for Demandgen. Now, you can use maximize clicks, you can use maximize conversion with a target CPA, and a maximize conversion value with a target ROAS. Now, maximize clicks, it basically helps you to get as many relevant users as possible to your website within your budget, and make sure that you are not using maximum clicks for conversion goal as is recommended only for website traffic. Now, you can use maximize conversion. It helps you to get as much as conversion volume as possible within the campaign's budget. You may also have an option to add a target CPA so that the campaign can optimize to get conversions within the CPA that you have set. And then you've got maximize conversion value, which focuses more on increasing conversion value than volume. Okay, so you can also set your target ROAS for your campaign, and when you're using your maximize conversion value, that works best with it. Now, let's shift gears into something more interesting, which is called your brand lift study, your search lift study, and conversion lift study. Now, the first thing is sometimes you may not find this in your accounts. For that reason, you might want to check whether your account is whitelisted. If your account is whitelisted, that is good. If it is not, or if it is whitelist and you still don't see it, then you need to ensure that you, like for example, in the US, you need to spend about $50,000 to ensure that you're eligible to show to see these kinds of lift studies that are there. Your brand lift, your search lift, and conversion lift. And still, even if you're spending that kind of money, you still don't see, then you would want to get in touch with the account manager, and they can basically help you to investigate as to why they can't see it. What exactly is a brand lift, a search lift, and a conversion lift? A brand lift, in very simple, is what is the brand recall of that particular brand. For example, Z equal Natura, if after a person looking at the particular ad, okay. So they saw the ad of Z equal Natura. Z equal Natura as a brand name. It's from the thing called Wix. Now, what has been the number of lift? How many people are actually, how has the brand lift actually happened? Okay. Next, search. How many people are actually going and searching for that particular keyword in the search engine to see that, to land on that particular brand? That's your search lift. And your last part is your conversion lift, which basically tells you is that for people searching for that particular product, they found that particular product, but did they actually, how many conversions have actually, how much is the sales that is basically increased after creating that kind of an ad? So these are very good very good kind of measurement techniques that you have. I know Debankar is going to talk at length about brand lift, search lift, and conversion lift. So this is just a gist of it, which I've given you, but Debankar will take us a little more into detail into it. Now, when you pair your demand and capture efforts with Demandgen to maximize your impact, what advertisers have basically seen is 14% more conversions on an average when they add Demandgen to their search or PMAX campaign. 86% of online advertisers who report using Demandgen are satisfied with the results they receive from Demandgen campaigns versus 76% of their competitor set average. So the competitor set average is at 76%, but 86% are getting more value out of it. So these are very important statistics that you basically would like to keep in mind. Now, advertiser success, that's where I would like to pull in Debankar over here, who will basically take us through the next part of the session, which is on the advertiser success. Over to you, Debankar.
Thank you, Faraz.
Thank you.
I think we are pretty clear with the initial segments of that. We'll get into the measurement section. Before that, we'll discuss a real world example. I think we have two quick case studies there. Now, the case study that you're seeing on the screen right now, it's basically all about Swift. It basically is a young, innovative furniture brand that introduced a new concept, which was called Sofa in a Box, right? And this happened in the year 2020. Now, they basically faced a unique challenge. And while they initially focused on lower funnel conversions with their Google Ads campaign, they had regular conversion-based campaigns back then. They also discovered the customer journey for their furnitures could take quite long, right? Spanning up to almost 14 weeks there. So this also meant that the customers needed multiple touch points and a longer nurturing period before they were even making that purchase. Now, to exactly address this situation, they adopted a multi-pronged approach. So first, they embraced the Performance Max campaigns there, which is basically a part of your Power Pair as well, where it combines search plus PMAX. We'll get there. So they had that to simplify their ad setup and leverage Google's AI to reach customers across all the touch points. But on top of that, along with the search and the PMAX campaign there, they also recognize the importance of visual storytelling that Faraz has been talking about. So this brand basically doubled down on the Demandgen campaigns, utilizing their high quality video creatives that were already working well in the past, right? You could always use your existing social creatives, and they use that across YouTube, Gmail, and Discovery. They had to do this because this happened in the year 2020. In case now you just want to run ads on Shorts, you have that capability, you have granular controls. So along with the PMAX campaign, let's say you want to focus a bit more on Shorts, you can do that. You only want to focus on feeds on YouTube, right? You can specifically do that. So we have that capability there. Now, this strategy basically allowed them to connect with potential customers earlier in the journey. And if you look at the statistics, 76% increase in Google Ads driven revenue and 50% better ROAS targeting there. We have another example here. Now, Service Titan is basically a home and commercial software company with a very specific ideal customer profile, right? Their persona was super niche. Now, historically, it has been super challenging with driving a significant volume of qualified leads that makes sense for the service that it offers. But then this brand was basically an early adopter and a part of the beta to migrate its historical discovery campaigns to demand gen, right? So when they got upgraded there, now it wanted to take advantage of having one video and one image in one campaign type, and that's why they tried demand gen's exclusive lookalike segments on top of that as well. So they basically built two campaign strategies aimed to achieve two key goals, right? So the first one was basically to attract only new users to its software platform and also increase the subscriptions, lead gen sort of strategy. And then they also had this middle funnel goal where they wanted to go deep down the funnel, right? So the goal was now to generate marketing qualified leads. MQL is something that we call it, which was also aligned with the company's ideal customer profile. So you can always strategize your campaigns based on the goals that you have, right? We have that level of control. Perfect. Talking about control, we'll get into the measurement side of things. We have launched our Demandgen campaign. How do we exactly convince our client or exactly quantify the results that we are getting out of demand gen, right? Cool. We have spoken about the implementation part, and this slide is where measurement and understanding the overall results come in, right? And it is a super simple but very important setup there. So it starts from the scratch. So first, we have the recommendations page within Google Ads. This is something that everyone has access to. Think of this as your personal AI assistant. And most of us know that Google's AI is constantly analyzing all the campaigns and also looking for ways to improve your bidding, your budgets, targeting, creative, and measurement as well. You name it, it is already analyzing it. It's like having an extra set of eyes on everything, and it obviously gives you suggestions to fine tune and optimize as well in real time. So do not just skip over those recommendations. Take a look. They often point out really valuable insights. Then we have customized reports in Google Ads, something that we have been using since the inception, but you are not stuck with some generic one size fits all report. You can dive in and tailor your reports to focus on the KPIs that really matter to you. It could be a CPA, ROAS. You can simply customize your report and get the data there. We cannot also forget about Google Ads creative reporting. These types of campaigns are super creative heavy, audience focused. So it's important for us to understand what's exactly working, right? In case you want to understand what's going to work, experimentation is something that you should be looking at. We'll cover that section in the upcoming slides. But this is basically the key to understand which creatives and audiences are truly driving the best performance for you so that you can focus a bit more there. So you can simply segment by format and look at the asset reports and really see what's resonating with your audience. And you are not supposed to do any more guesswork here. The data is your friend. It exactly tells you what's working and what's not working, so you can adjust accordingly. Now, speaking of data, we have Ads Data Hub. It's an incredibly powerful tool. It basically unlocks those deeper customer journey insights by combining your own first-party data with Google Ads data, right? All while respecting user privacy, of course. And it's also like getting the full picture of how your campaigns are influencing customer behavior. And then we have finally Demandgen experiments, right? So we recommend before you launch any campaign, make sure that you launch the campaigns and then assign it an arm and then conduct an A/B experimentation. It will not take a lot of budget. It is always good to start with your strategy, give it some budget, and divide the traffic 50-50, isolate all the other settings. We can share some additional literature around that if you need. But if you want to test different strategies and see which one truly performs the best, this is basically the way to go. It basically helps you remove any bias and get a clear objective view of what's exactly effective. In the previous example, as we saw, they took two strategies. If you are confused between which strategy should I take up, you are limited on budget, simply go get started with your experimentations, present it in front of your client, get an approval, and get started with your Demandgen campaign there. Cool. Now let's understand how are Demandgen campaigns contributing to your media mix, right? And how it's exactly helping you boost your lower funnel conversions. So under the measurement section, you can actually look into attribution reports in Google Ads to see which touch points are actually converting for your business. We'll cover the attribution side in the upcoming slides as well. Now, just to explain things a bit better, we have a funnel here, right? So it starts with brand lift, search lift, and conversion lift. These are the three types of studies that we have. Faraz mentioned about the measurement studies, lift studies. This is where we are right now. Now, it basically provides a suitable range of lift and ROI measurement tools to help you understand the true impact of your campaigns beyond the basic metrics that we have been tracking, like your clicks and your impressions, auction insights, not that, right? So we'll quantify exactly what is happening on a larger scale. So these are the tools that basically allow you to measure the incremental lift in key areas, proving the overall value of your demand gen investment, right? So here first we have brand lift. Now, this study basically measures the impact of your campaigns on key brand metrics like your awareness, consideration, and favorability. Right now, what do I mean by that? It basically helps you understand how your campaigns are influencing brand perception and driving brand growth. For example, if someone saw your ad, let's say, and did they even search for your brand or service after viewing your ad? So at that level, Google is able to analyze and track, and it will basically present the data to you. Next, we have search lift, right? Now, this basically measures the incremental increase in your searches for your brand or any related keyword as a result of your demand gen campaigns. It also helps you understand how your campaigns are driving search interest and generating demand. Similarly, did your ads influence any increase in the searches from the same user or from multiple users across the geographic location, right? So if it did increase, you will actually see the delta there, and it proves the fact that your demand gen campaigns have a spillover effect on the overall organic side of things as well. Then we also have conversion lift. Now, this is again bifurcated into, we'll get into that. One is user based and one is geo based, right? Geo based is a bit larger, but conversion lift can basically measure the incremental increase in conversions as a result of your demand gen campaign. So the first one is all about brand perception. The second one is if people started searching a bit more. The third one is directly associated to your conversions. If we were able to get better or higher conversions only because of the demand gen campaigns, it could be a reason that people are viewing your demand gen campaigns, they're not clicking on it, right? I personally do not click on ads, but if I saw the ad and then I somehow converted because of that ad, it will be able to tell you that exact analysis, right? Cool. We'll get into the details, brand lift and search lift specifically. Now, there's this thing, right? Conversions do not always tell the whole story. As I mentioned, people might not click on your ad. It might not even attribute that click. And it is not always about the conversion. It is also about the brand perception, right? Demand gen is doing exactly that. It is helping you nurture the demand, and which then is again captured by either your demand gen campaigns or your search or PMAX campaigns are anyway there for that. So we need to look beyond the immediate sale or sign up and understand the bigger picture, and understand what's exactly working and what's not working. So that's why measuring value beyond the overall conversion scene is very crucial. So what does that exactly mean? This means digging deeper, right? It's about understanding how our campaigns are influencing customer perception. Then it is how is it exactly sparking our interest and driving brand consideration. Now, these things do not always lead to an instant conversion, but they are absolutely vital for long-term growth. So how do we exactly do that? Brand lift is something that we have. This is not just about whether someone clicked or bought my product. It's about asking, did they even notice my ad, or did it even change how they feel about my brand? Now, brand lift basically uses surveys. It basically creates control group and expose group to measure things like consideration, favorability, and purchase intent. And right now in Demand Gen, we are focusing on YouTube for brand lift, but it's a powerful tool to also see if the message is truly resonating. When I say YouTube, that is basically the platform where it will scrape the data to get you the analysis. For search lift, this is about how your campaigns impact actual searches for the products or brand on Google or YouTube. It basically answers questions like, did seeing our ad make someone go and search for us in the search bar, right? So this is a fantastic way to see if you are sparking genuine interest and driving consideration. And again, this is currently focused on YouTube, Gmail, and discovery feed in Demand Gen. And just to explain, like, why are these studies and metrics so important? Because they exactly show us the true journey, right? They help us understand how we are moving people through the funnel that we just discussed. So, not everyone's ready to buy right away. Not everyone will actually even click on the ad, but Google actually analyzes and tracks people at the user ID level. So if they see the ad and then convert because of that ad being visible, it will start tracking it that way. So lift and search studies exactly tell if we are providing that nudge, right? Everyone needs a nudge to be able to convert there. Quick note on the bidding. We have also found that conversion-based bidding models really help with these metrics. So basically, it aligns our efforts with driving valuable actions, whether they are immediate conversions or long-term considerations there. And also for creative video assets are super important. They tend to drive a higher lift for those middle funnel metrics like consideration. And again, short form videos, super important. Make sure that you're including that. We have seen that as and when people have included short form videos, which basically surfaces on the YouTube Shorts platform, it immediately increases your conversions by 35%. So that is a big number. Make sure that we are not missing out on that. So just to summarize, we need to really measure beyond the conversion. So brand lift and search lift studies really help you see the bigger picture and understand the overall customer journey, and also optimize for more than just the final sale. It's about building long-term relationships and creating that lasting impact. And these are not just metrics, these are like clear insights. If you want to get into this, speak to your agency manager. They will be helping you with the lift studies there. Now, when I was talking about conversion studies there, I spoke about segmenting it into two. So one is for users, one is for geo. Most of us would be sticking to users. Geo is a bit wider, but it also offers some multi-channel and omni-channel traffic there, right? So when we talk about conversion rate for users, this basically helps us understand how many conversions were directly caused by the Demandgen campaign that would not have happened otherwise. It basically isolates the impact of your campaign on individual users, right? So this method is going to be great for single channel testing and typically requires lower budgets compared to geo-based studies that we'll discuss in some time. So if you want a quick and efficient way to see your campaign's impact on individual user, this is going to be the great option. Now, let's say you want to widen your spectrum there and you really want to analyze what's exactly happening. You have multiple stores and you are dealing with multiple geographic locations. So we have conversion lit for geo. This basically measures the incremental return on your advertising spend by dividing geographic regions into two groups. So one would be an exposed group that would see your ad, and then there would be a control group, as I mentioned, that would not see your ad. So this again allows you to compare conversion rates between these two groups, and you should definitely choose this study for any omni or offline measurement, because it can also capture in-store or other offline conversions as well, right? So it's super helpful and useful for analyzing multiple campaign types together as well. Or if you do not have a compatible tag for conversion lift, let's say for users, it is going to be a bit larger study, but does provide a broader insight. So get in touch with your agency manager. They will help you with that. But point to be noted, in both the methods, we are essentially creating a treatment versus control scenario. This is the core incrementality testing, and it compares the behavior of people who are exposed to your ads to those who are not exposed to your ads. So just to summarize again, conversion lift for users is quick and focused on individual impact, while conversion lift for geo is broader and better for offline or multi-channel measurement there. Now, as we all know, it is not these kind of campaigns are not just about the final click. If you talk about YouTube also, Demandgen also, right? Anything that fits at the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, it's not just the clicks or the conversions. This is exactly why we need to understand the conversion path report as well. So attribution reports is something that we have. It basically shows how it assisted customers on the journey to purchase. So the conversion path report basically reveals at a I mean, even if you don't want to get into the measurement studies there, this is basically a very quick glance of what exactly is working, right? So if you go to the conversion paths report, it will basically reveal the full impact and track how Demandgen drives new customers and how it exactly works alongside other Google channels. So it's about evaluating your efforts to bring in new customers and see how they interact with your brand across the globe. Perfect. We'll quickly summarize everything, but to do that, we have actually put that into three buckets just to understand. We'll start with optimization. So first off, you would always want to consistently look at your reporting. That recommendation space that I spoke about, it is always gathering data in real time. It will compare your competitors also. It'll take a look at your campaigns as well. So make sure that you are not ignoring that. This is not just for the historical data as well. It's super important for gaining the insights that you really need to continuously fine-tune your campaigns and ensure that they are always performing at the absolute best. Then comes the impact. So once your campaigns are live and collecting data, it's about understanding their contribution. So you can simply see how they are assisting your broader media mix, both within the Google ad system and even beyond. And this really helps you demonstrate the overall value of your Demandgen investment. And talking about incrementality, for the deepest level of understanding here, you can simply go a step further with incrementality. This means actively trying to prove the unique impact of your campaigns and also identify the results that would not have occurred if Demandgen had not been running, right? And you can simply do that using the lift studies there. So taking a proactive stance on measuring incrementality is highly recommended because it can truly lead to powerful business outcomes. So think of these three pillars as your guiding principles for measuring success with Demandgen. So optimize based on the insights that you see from the recommendations page or the reports, custom reports there. Understand your overall impact, and whenever possible, prove that incremental value by conducting those studies there. I hope we are clear with the measurement section. We'll quickly get into the general best practices. But before we do that, it's very important for us to exactly understand how demand gen campaigns were made and how it has been evolving, right? So when you are setting up your demand gen campaigns, a good starting point is basically to set your goals and KPIs from your existing social or video campaigns, right? Similarly, you would also want to set your ROI and efficiency targets on par with your social or video campaigns, not the conversion campaigns there. Now, this ensures consistency and leverage. It also leverages your existing performance benchmark for demand generation efforts. You will be able to compare in a better fashion. So this is super important for people to understand. Many people have this confusion and they start comparing their PMAX search campaigns with the demand gen campaign. This is not a comparison. It basically substitutes and supplements, your social campaigns which are already there, and basically supplements your power pair, which is a combination of your search and PMAX campaign. Super important to remember that demand gen operates super differently, very differently from channels like search and performance max campaign. Now you are already aware of the fact that search and performance max campaigns are primarily about capturing existing demand, which means if Faraz is looking for something, your PMAX and search campaigns will be the first one to cater, and then basically the conversions happen through that channel. This has been happening till now. Now, they will basically help you reach users who are actively searching for what you offer, right? But when we talk about demand gen, this basically focuses more on creating or nurturing demand, right? So what made Faraz come onto Google search and search for that product, right? Maybe he was scrolling, he was on YouTube and he was checking few videos, and then he started seeing some ad and he was like, oh, I wanted to buy this bag. Let me go and find this bag online, right? And that is exactly your search and performance max campaigns would come up and convert that into a sale. So think of it as reaching potential customers earlier in their journey, perhaps before they even know that they need your product or service. So because of this, demand gen campaigns are best understood in comparison to other demand generating channels like various social or video advertising platforms. So they are also excellent for driving initial engagements, or we can call it shallow conversions, like the video views, the site visits, or the early stage leads, right? Now, these early interactions are crucial because they basically build brand awareness and interest, and this basically converts later, right? It heavily contributes to those deeper, more valuable conversions further down the funnel there, which will be then catered by your search and PMAX campaign. So while you might not see immediate final conversions directly attributed to every single demand gen interaction, its strength basically lies in building that crucial pipeline influencing future purchases there. Next, it's about strategically choosing your audience. You can simply leverage the vast reach of Google, YouTube, and even creator audiences to connect with the consumers who are most valuable to your business. And additionally, I would also suggest utilizing lookalike segments. Faraz has emphasized a lot on lookalike segments there, especially built from your own high-quality first-party data lists. And make sure if you are able to combine that with optimized targeting, it is basically, again, the AI taking over, and it will also broaden your reach specifically to even more valuable prospective customers there. And finally, talking about creative, that is super important. Bring in your creative. This is all about involving your best existing social assets, ranging from static images all the way to the short form video content. And for an even deeper level of engagement, you can also integrate your product feeds and use partnership ads. When you integrate product feeds, it basically builds a nice virtual storefront on YouTube as well, and it takes space, right? So it gives you that additional real estate that we all need there. Cool. Now we'll talk about all the best practices one by one. We have all the pillars. We have the audiences, bidding, budget best practices, measurement. We'll talk about everything. Now this slide highlights key strategies for building a high performing campaign by leveraging the strengths of Demandgen and Google's AI, right? So the first step is basically to build a profile to drive remarketing and teach AI about your customers. And this also involves utilizing first party data such as your own customer match list, the remarketing list, and creating custom segments using top performing search keywords. Now this information would basically help Google's AI to learn about your own ideal customer persona and also tailor your campaigns accordingly. Next, As I mentioned, leverage Google's AI to expand your reach, right? So we can always use Google's AI for prospecting to find new customers and also drive conversions. But alternatively, we can also utilize lookalike segments to reach audiences similar to your existing customers. So also for even more optimized targeting, refined targeting, we can simply use optimized targeting there, which leverages Google's AI again to identify the most relevant audiences for your campaign objectives. Now, all of the links, and we have also attached few case studies in these slides, so when this deck will be shared with you, you will have access to all the help center links as well, just so you have everything handy. We'll get into the budget best practices there. So the first step is basically to choose the right bidding strategy that best serves your marketing objective, right? So if your goal is to drive sales or leads, you're going to go with your target CPA, target ROAS, maximize conversion value there. But let's say if your primary objective is just to increase traffic, you have a new product launch, you have a new sub page, right? And you want more and more crowd coming in, get more eyeballs there. Maximize clicks bidding is something that you can use. One more thing, if your client cannot track online sales, you can still get started with Demandgen campaign, but you will have only maximize clicks as an option. But yes, if you cannot if you cannot track online sales, you still can get started with Demandgen campaign, maximize clicks bidding option. Next, talking about the budget, your campaign budgets are super important for it to be able to even participate in the auction, right? So set your campaign budgets that will compete in Google auctions. A minimum budget of $100 per day per campaign is something that we recommend to ensure your ads have sufficient visibility. But let's say, I mean, this is not a thumb rule, to be very honest. You can simply use reach and performance planner, right? That is a much better approach that estimates how much budget you are going to need to basically achieve your goals there and your target audience. This is basically a simulation that basically tells you if this is what you want, these are the things that you need. Uh, Again, we have attached all the proofs under the proof section. You will see a lot of case studies there, how different brands were able to use these strategies to get where they are right now. And we also have the help center links there. Perfect. We'll get into the creative best practices. So always, this is the main thing. This basically solves for almost everything. Ensure that your creatives meet certain quality standards, right? So always aim for an ad strength of good or excellent. Excellent is something that you should aim. Alternatively, also conduct A/B experimentation pre-launch to test different creative variations and identify the most effective combinations. So let's say if you simply want to see if this image alone is working better, or this video alone is working better, or this video is going well with this image or not, you can simply conduct A/B experimentation and see how this works. Uh, Again, we have attached all the case studies there. We have a case studies by Webtoon Entertainment. They saw a 150% increase in their conversion rate and a 38% lower CPC, right? By conducting a demand gen creative experiment there, and then they got started before they launched the campaign, and that actually resulted in better performance, and also they were able to stop the campaign from spending just behind irrelevant clicks there. Perfect. Then we have certain lead booster guidance as well. So first, always utilize your conversion actions, right? So conversion actions are super important. Also, your quality and value is super important. So make sure that um, you're using your first party data, right? Also exclude your park domains and channels where you do not want your ads to show up. We have channel controls, we have inventory controls. Make sure that you're using that. And we also have certain limitations on the invalid traffic protection there, right? You can also exclude a lot of brand, you can exclude few placements, you can exclude few inventories. Standard inventory is something that we recommend all the campaigns would basically be on standard. That will basically ensure that you are not placing your ads on any surface which does not align with your brand values. But if you let's say also want to exclude few YouTube channels, few YouTube placements, you can also do that. So we have that level of granular control when it only talks about lead. Accurate measurement is super important. So the first step is also to set up tags that cover the customer journey. Now this starts with adding the conversion tracking tag to every page of your website to capture valuable data about the user interaction. And additionally, including Firebase app conversions can also provide a more comprehensive view of your user behavior across devices. And next, always use AI-driven conversion features to upgrade your reporting. Now, this includes leveraging enhanced conversions or enhanced conversion for leads, right? That will basically improve the accuracy of your conversion data, and also implement data-driven attribution. We have many attribution models. Anything that works the best for to understand your business model works, but data-driven attribution basically provides a more holistic view of the customer journey by understanding the impact of multiple touch points across all the channels that it has to cater. And finally, utilizing cross-account conversion also helps you track conversions across different Google Ads account and provides a more comprehensive picture of your overall campaign performance. Uh, that's about measurement. We'll talk about optimization, and this is my favorite slide because this actually covers what's. I mean, it's basically a mess. Many people actually get confused with this. They start making changes too early and then talk about demand gen not performing. So we'll cover that part here. So first, always set up AI-friendly campaigns that are optimized to serve. Right now, this involves ensuring that your campaigns are structured in a way that Google's AI is effectively learning and optimized. Now, how do we do that? Now, this includes limiting the bid changes to only plus or minus 15% during a campaign is still collecting 50 conversions to exit the learning phase, right? So till the time a campaign has not generated 50 conversions, it could be those shallow conversions as well. It could be a website view, lead form submission, right? Or it could be a video view. Anything that we call as conversion here could be 50, and that is exactly when the AI has learned and it is ready to go. That is exactly when you can start making changes, right? And try and consolidate ad groups with fewer than 30 conversions in the last 30 days. Optimizations usually and mostly happen at the ad group level. So let's say if you have a campaign, you have multiple ad groups, and all of these campaigns have fewer conversions. Try and consolidate those ad groups and make sure that few of the ad groups at least have 30 conversions in the last 30 days. That will basically speeden up the entire learning process, and that is exactly when you can also start making changes. But till then, please do not make changes more than 10 to 15% up and down, right? Next, always leverage feeds to promote your products to shoppers. Using product feeds, especially the ones that come with a cover image and video, allows you to showcase your products dynamically and also engage shoppers more effectively. It's recommended to have at least 50 products ready to serve through your Google Merchant Center feed. Super important. That is exactly when it will work. Perfect. Now, this is what we have discussed till now. We'll quickly summarize everything. We have explored the power of demand gen campaigns and driving business growth and achieving marketing objectives. We'll quickly take a look at all the key takeaways. We have categorized this into three. So the first key takeaway is basically the ability to grow beyond those who are already searching for your brand, right? Demand gen campaigns leverage the power of Google and YouTube's vast reach to unlock new demand across a wide range of visual surfaces, and it will keep evolving. It will keep including new things. This basically allows you to connect the potential customers who may not be actively searching for your products or services, expanding your reach and identifying new opportunities of growth, right? Secondly, we learned the importance of curating your campaign specific to your marketing objectives and targeting persona. So by leveraging lookalike audiences and utilizing your vertical videos to drive engagement and employing precise targeting strategies, you can ensure that your campaigns reach the right people at the right time with the right message. And we also focused on the power of driving results with performance powered by AI, plus flexible controls that we have across channels and targetings and creatives. So AI will do its job and you still are remaining as the pilot. You will still control a lot of things. Google's AI powered technologies will optimize your campaigns in real time while you will retain control over your targeting, your bidding, and your creative strategies. And this combination of human expertise and machine learning would basically unlock the full potential of your demand gen campaigns. So in summary, by implementing these key takeaways and leveraging the power of demand gen, you can build a strong brand awareness strategy, also generate high quality leads, and also drive significant business growth there. That being said, we are at the end of the session. I would quickly request you to scan this QR code. This basically brings you to a post camp feedback form link there. You can ask us any questions that you have, any strategic questions, any roadmap specific questions. You want to know anything about the future of demand gen or anything that you have used in the past with respect to demand gen and you are not able to find help, please let us know through the link, or how did you find the session today, right? You can always let us know, and we would really appreciate that. What we'll do is we closely work with the product team as well. We'll get in touch with them. We'll get you the right answers through your agency manager. This deck will also be shared with you along with the responses of your questions, and the recording will also be shared with you. But thanks for having us, team. For us, I would quickly pull you in if you want to share anything apart from what has been discussed.
No, I think you sounded up very well. Thank you so much. And we are looking forward that you increase your usage on Demandgen and also taking advantage of all the AI powered features that it basically has. Uh, and especially the vertical videos, the most important part, which just as a gentle reminder. Thank you so much. Wishing you all a wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Ruwan.